The amplitude from a trigonometry graph. All right, we're asked to determine the amplitude of the following graph. Amplitude is from its midline, how high and how low does it go? So we can kind of look at it as the average of the highest point with the average of the highest and the lowest point, right? So when we look at this, when I say the highest and lowest point, I'm talking about on the y-axis. So the average of these is basically we're adding 4 plus, so that's the highest. What's the lowest? The lowest is -4. 4 plus -4. And then we divide by 2 for the average. And what that'll do is this gives us the midline, right? So let's go ahead and do that. So 4 minus 4 is 0 over 2. It's okay to have 0 on the top. So the midline is equal to 0. This is our midline. That's an E. That's an I. The midline. So the midline, and these are the y values. So this 0 is a y value also. So this is the y equals 0 midline. Y equals 0 line cuts through 0 on the y-axis. And once you can see that, you can count how many space it is to each one. So in this case, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So the value is basically your maximum. That's kind of the easiest way. The max minus your midline. Your max minus the midline is going to give you the amplitude. Amplitude. Now, it's real important to kind of get a hold of these formulas because sometimes they're going to be decimals and you can't just count it out with decimals or fractions. You need to plug them into the formulas. All right. For a lot of these, though, you can just kind of eyeball them, and we're just getting used to looking at these oscillating or up and down trigonometric functions. And kind of one of the keys to recognize here is that this is comparable to the cosine function since it starts at a value not equal to 1, or not equal to 0, sorry. Not equal to 0 is your cosine function. When it starts at 0, that's comparable to your sine function. All right, so we can kind of go through these and see if there's anything else. So 4 on this one. All right, let's just kind of compare what they did. The amplitude, they're just showing it. So from the midline to the maximum, 4. All right, it'd be nice if they had the formulas, but that's okay. Let's see the next one. All right, let's go ahead and this one's a little bit better. Not so easy, and let's go ahead and apply our formula. All right, so we're doing the average, A-V-E-R-A-G-E, the average of the max and min. All right, the maximum and the minimum. All right, so what's the maximum? The maximum's 1 plus, what's the minimum? -3. And the average means however many you have, you divide by that number. We have 2 entries, so we're dividing by 2. So this is 1 minus 3 is -2 divided by 2 equals -1. So this is a y equals -1 as a midline. It's the middle of our trig oscillating function. So here's y equals -1. It cuts our oscillating trig function in half. And then we would say the midline, the max minus the midline. All right. So the maximum is 1 minus the midline. The midline's -1. This turns into 1 plus 1 or equal to 2. So is that our amplitude? Did we go up 2 spots? So we go up 1, 2 spots, and yes, it is. So we just kind of do the math is what I'd recommend, and then visually eyeball it to get you the right answer. to confirm it. Next one's any different. And same type of process.